Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. I'm a cancer nurse, a computer scientist, and what I have is literally a mapping of my brain, which is SAN, Symptom Management and Navigation Nurse. So I want to tell you why.
Can I have you in the box?
Sometimes it's good to be in the box. So when we look at cancer, unfortunately, 1 in 2.5 people are going to get cancer in their lifetime. So there's a lot of us. If there are 2 of you sitting on a table, you know one of you are going to be getting cancer and the other one is probably going to be taking care of one. Yeah, he's lucky there. So when we have so many people struggling with cancer, the question is, why is life so hard for them? I want you to hear what I hear from my patients every day. I'm going to play it on the phone.
It was so difficult to get the cancer diagnosis and then the treatment. It seemed endless. I went through a lot of ups and downs and somehow managed it. Huge pressure, physically, mentally challenging.
So this is what I hear every day from my patients. It's chaotic, it's stressful, they have a lot of side effects, they have treatment disruptions, and they have huge financial toxicity. In fact, close to 50% of cancer patients end up using their life savings because of these. So when we have so many issues, as clinicians, we struggle too, because we are handling patients who are having adverse events, who are having treatment disruptions, they're not able to make it to their appointment, they're having poor outcomes, they're having increased costs, right? So it's frustrating for us because we want them to have the best outcome possible. At the same time, you know, when I am working with these patients, the challenges they have are simple. They are not rocket science. They're not about curing cancer. We are working hard on that. They're simpler things like how do I manage my diet when I feel nauseous? What do I do when I don't feel like eating? What do I do about my sleep? Can I go to work? Can I not go to work? How do I get to my treatment? These simple issues which you and I as clinical folks know exactly the answer to and we could have helped them become the bane of their existence and of conflict in the family. As a result, patients don't show up for their appointments, and sometimes those simple problems compound and they become big problems where patients end up in emergency department. And it's quite a big number. So what if when I was seeing this and I would see bad things happen to my patients, I would go back home wondering, what if I had more time with my patient? What if I could have just gone home with them? And if they needed something, whether it's navigation, it's symptom, it's medication education, or med adherence, I could have been there for them to take care of them. But there's only one of me. I wanted 10,000 of me. I wanted to be able to clone myself. So that's what I literally did. Meet San. She's a clone of my brain as a nurse. She does symptom management and navigation. She can anticipate her patient's needs. She can empathize with the challenges that the patient and the family faces. She can help them to prepare for the treatment and what's to come. And she's able to manage hundreds of side effects with a database of over 20,000 recommendations. She can handle all their navigation issues because we have over 2,000 programs nationally coded in. And she's able to escalate the care to real people, real clinicians, when we know that things start to go wrong. So it can move from high tech to high touch. And by doing that, she makes sure her patients are okay. She never leaves her patient's side, which was my dream And that's what we have built. So how does that work? There is the static component. As we all know, we give our patients a treatment plan, a care plan. It's a living care plan that changes. At the same time, we know that our family members, caregivers have a huge burden when it comes to cancer. They're trying to support us in the best way possible. So how about we make it easy for them? So we enable them to share the plan with their family members and have a plan kind of like Google Maps. You know, when I'm coming here to San Mateo from San Jose, if I came here 2 o'clock in the afternoon, my drive would be very different than it was right now, right? We know there are going to be bumps along the way. There's going to be more traffic. So what if we are able to anticipate and support both the patient and their family members in this process? So that's what we do. So there's a static component, and then there is a dynamic component. So there is literally a bot nurse that they can talk to at any point of day or night and tell them anything that they feel, and the nurse will be able to help them with many of the issues. So by doing that, we are able to scale the care, and we are able to provide the support that our patients need from us, no matter what day, what time. And we can personalize it. So this can be 10,000 of you, and you can send one of yourself with every patient of yours. So by doing this, what happens is that we are able to handle many of the challenges that patients have and support them as a concierge process throughout the journey. You and I know we have phones in our pocket all the time. We eat with our phones, we sleep with our phones. We may not spend as much time with our spouses as we spend with our phones, right? So that's the constant thing that's with them, and that becomes your virtual replica for them. What's the impact of this? I want you to hear from the same patient.
But in Helpsy, I found a great support system. I have so much more energy and enthusiasm. My family is very happy, and I can only say thank you for the help.
So what if we could give an experience like that to every patient who walks in our door? When we did our studies, this is at UCSF, we saw 30 to 70% improvement in most of side effects, as you can see. This is not with any medications. These are simple diet, lifestyle, nutrition, automated recommendations that can lead to such a powerful impact. If this was a drug, this would have been a blockbuster drug. This is a study where we did in a cancer center with a control group, and what we found when we did this study was there was a significant difference between the control group and the intervention group. The numbers, I would say, are a little bit skewed because the study was done in India, and the population was not so used to seeing a 0 to 10 scale, so they're more ranked it as they had the problem or not, so that's why the numbers are quite high. But needless to say, every patient saw a lot of benefit, in fact to the point that the oncologist started prescribing it to all types of cancers, not just the one that we had agreed on, and we had to stay an extra 2 months to offer the same program to the control group because they felt it was unfair to them. So the impact is huge. We've been able to help over 20,000 patients manage over 100,000 symptoms. The way we can help is by supporting a lot of these challenges that I talked to you about, whether it's at the point of diagnosis and helping them with handling their emotions, whether it's preparing for the treatment, or it is managing side effects or navigation issues. By doing this, it helps all the stakeholders in the game. It helps the patient, it helps the family, it helps us as clinicians to become much more effective. It helps our insurers to save money. On average, we saw about $5,000 to $20,000 saving per cancer patient in our pilots. So the value to each person is really big. We partnered with several organizations here. We are very lucky to have that with Sutter, with UCSF. We are live at cancer centers in India. We are rolling out with cancer centers in Australia. And this is just the beginning. One thing I want to also add here is that we have a free app that we are able to offer patients. Especially for primary care, once the patients are in the survivorship mode, they may not be so well connected to their oncologist. So knowing when the diagnostic is coming up, when the screening is coming up, how do you handle the lingering side effects that they have, those all can be handled by the supportive app. So we have made that accessible for free to all our patients and to clinicians. So if you have any interest, please do come and talk to me about it. I would love to support your community. All this is possible because of a great team. Everyone on the team had personally been impacted by this problem in some way, whether for themselves or their loved ones. And that's why they all dedicated their time to building this company so that we can change the world together. Everyone on the team has done the role that they're coming in for. We have anywhere between 10 to 30 years of experience in the work that we are doing. It's not new for us. And we've been able to make significant progress. As you can see, we have an army of advisors from all the top centers in the world, whether they are clinicians, they are researchers, they are holistic practitioners, they are patient advocates. They're telling us what we need to do and how we can deliver the best care. They have all contributed to the brain of SAN. So SAN gets smarter every day from every clinician that it learns, from every person who contributes to its algorithms and to its journey to be better. So I'm here to help you. It's truly an honor and a privilege to have an opportunity to share with you. Any questions?
What are you looking for from us?
I'm looking for partnerships so that we can share with larger community. And in a couple of months, we'll be raising money. So if anybody is interested in joining us, that'll be great.
How much have you raised?
We just did a seed round. So that was 150K. We haven't raised beyond that purposely because we wanted to directly go for Series A. Sure.
Why did you do your trial in India?
Because it was cheaper, to be honest. Yeah, and HIPAA compliance was not required, so our solution at that time was not HIPAA compliant. It is now. Also, we got request from Punjab government because the state of Punjab in India has the highest rate of cancer. And it has some of the most uneducated population. So they wanted us to help with raising literacy and with supporting the community. So we went there and did the pilot. It gave us a chance to see that we can not only deploy in first world country, but we can deploy in third world countries. We can work with non-English speaking population, and we can work with all age groups, and we can work with devices that may not be smartphones.
Well, how customized can the nurse bot is? Because there are times when you know how you click a button when you do shopping, the chat screen. You seem to have a live person, but after several questions, you realize that they're template responses. So I'm just curious, in order to help these patients who may be very diverse, how customized will your response is? I mean,
Yeah.
that's all idea.
So the question is, how customized is the response? So people come from diverse backgrounds and they may have different preferences, right, based on your culture, especially things like food, emotional aspects. Those are very personal to many of us. So we have over 30 different modalities, everything from Ayurveda to yoga to mindfulness, acupressure, Chinese medicine, herbs, as in teas that people can use. So we do try to personalize it based on their preference and things that they're more likely to do. Plus, because there are so many recommendations, at this point there are over 20,000 and it's growing, we are constantly adding new suggestions. At the same time, we are making sure they're getting the best suggestions possible. Plus, because it's AI, it's constantly learning about that person and what worked, what didn't work. So it's not going to give them the same thing if we know that that solution didn't work for them or they didn't like it. Yes?
Can you walk us through your ideal use case? I mean, what's the patient, what's the institution, who are the care team members, how is it getting reimbursed, whichever parts of that you want to answer, so I can kind of understand how we can help you.
Okay. The question is if I can walk through the journey for all the stakeholders and where is the reimbursement. So ideally, we would work at the point of diagnosis. So when either through a clinician, when the patient has been diagnosed, or through different nonprofits or groups, wherever patients are going when they're starting to, when they have been diagnosed with cancer. At that point, ideally, we would want to start working with them, develop their journey based on what they want, build their support team, so they have a set of people who are supporting them. And then throughout the process, whether it's education, it's handling the challenges they face or navigation, we are there to address those needs. The reimbursement comes from the enterprise organizations that are supporting this, so they would be sponsoring it, whether it's healthcare centers or it's payers or pharma, because they all get significant return on investment from providing a solution like this. Thank you.
Are you planning to just keep it with cancer or kind of spread across, because you mentioned a lot of things?
Yes, so right now we are focusing on cancer. Because it's symptom clusters underneath, it can be utilized for other areas as well, such as chronic pain, mental health, and aging. So those would be areas we will go into later. Right now, we want to be able to, we want to show success in cancer and be able to make a significant difference there.
How much do you think this is more behavioral health than actual treatment?
It's a combination, because as you know, behavioral health will determine whether I'm motivated enough to take my medication at 10 o'clock and whether I feel hopeful enough to continue my treatment so that I go for my appointment. So there is a lot of depth to the emotional component that drives the behavior change. So we try to support and address that. In one of the slides, you can see there was a significant improvement in anxiety and depression. At the same time, it's very clinical because it can address all the side effect and education that I would do as a cancer nurse. It's able to, it's able to do 100% of those.